English conversation title: A Conversation About Traveling to China. A. Hey Sarah, I heard you just came back from China. How was your trip? B. It was absolutely amazing. China is such a diverse country, from the busy cities to the peaceful countryside. Everything was breathtaking. That sounds incredible. Where did you go exactly? I started in Beijing. I visited the Great Wall, the Forbidden City, and the Summer Palace. The architecture and history blew me away. The Great Wall must be impressive. Oh, it was. Standing on the wall and looking over the hills was surreal. It made me realize how much effort went into building it. Did you go anywhere else? Yes, after Beijing, I went to Xi'an to see the terracotta army. Those ancient statues are mind-blowing. Then I took a high-speed train to Shanghai. That been an adventure. How was Shanghai? Totally different vibe, very modern with skyscrapers and stylish neighborhoods, but it also had traditional gardens and old temples. What was your favorite part of the trip? I think it was the food. Chinese kitchen is so rich and varied. I tried Peking duck in Beijing, dumplings in Xi'an, and street food in Chengdu. Did you have any trouble with the language barrier? A little boy used the translation app and learned some basic Mandarin phrases. Most people were helpful, helpful and friendly. That's great. Would you recommend China to other travelers? Absolutely. There's something for everyone. History, culture, food, nature. It's an unforgettable experience. Sounds like I need to plan a trip there soon. You should just make sure to plan ahead, especially for visa requirements and transportation. Thanks for the tips, Sarah. I'm feeling inspired already. Anytime, let me know if you need help with your itinerary, title planning, and experiencing a trip to China. Hey Emma, I heard you went on a 2-week trip to Canada. Tell me everything. Yes, I did. It was an incredible journey. I've always wanted to explore China, and this trip exceeded my expectations. Where did you start your adventure? I flew into Beijing. I figured starting in the capital made sense. I had a couple of days to adjust to the time difference and get used to the environment. That's smart. What was your first impression? Honestly, I was amazed by how modern yet traditional the city is. The traffic was busy, but everything was very organized, and the public transport system is super efficient. Did you visit the Great Wall? Of course, I went to the Mutianyu section. It was less crowded than other parts. Hiking along the wall was challenging, but the views were unforgettable. Sounds amazing. What about cultural experiences? I saw a traditional Beijing opera performance, and I also took a calligraphy workshop that helped me appreciate Chinese history and art even more. What else did you explore after Beijing? I took a high-speed train to Xi'an. The ride was smooth and surprisingly fast. I visited the Terracotta Army Museum, which was absolutely fascinating. The attention to detail in those statues is mind-blowing. Did you interact with local people a lot? Yes, I try to talk with locals as much as possible. I learned some basic Mandarin phrases like ni hao and xie xie. People appreciate the effort, and many were eager to practice their English too. That must made the trip more meaningful. It really did. In Chengdu, I even joined a cooking class where I learned to make real Sichuan hot pot. The chef was patient and kind. What was the food like overall? Oh, it was phenomenal. Every city had its own style, Beijing's roast duck was crispy and tender. Jian had amazing hand-pulled noodle, and Chengdu's spicy dishes were fiery but addictive. How did you manage to travel between cities? Mostly by high-speed trains. They were fast, comfortable, and punctual. I also took a short domestic flight to Guilin to see the famous Karst Mountains. Did you get to explore nature too? Yes, I took a boat ride on the river. The scenery was straight out of a painting. I also bought it around Yangshu. It was quiet and peaceful, the perfect break from city life. What were some challenges during the trip? The language barrier was the biggest one. In smaller towns, fewer people spoke English, so translation apps really helped. Also, navigating mobile payments was tricky at first, since many people use apps like WeChat Pay. That's good to know. Any advice for someone going to China for the first time? Definitely do your homework, check visa rules, book trains in advance, and try to learn some basic Mandarin. Also carry cash just in case digital payments don't work. I'm so inspired. China sounds like a destination full of contrasts. It truly is. It's a mix of ancient culture and futuristic cities. I feel like I only scratched the surface. I'd love to go back someday and explore the western provinces. Thanks for sharing, Emma. I'm seriously thinking about going now. You should. It's a journey worth taking. Just keep an open mind, and you will come back with unforgettable memories. English word ex exceeded 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 efficient efficient breathtaking breathtaking challenging unforgettable choreography appreciate appreciate fascinating statues attention to detail patient phenomenal, tender, punctual, navigate, contrast, futuristic, appreciate, provinces, ancient idioms, blew me away, made sense, still out, down to earth, once in a lifetime, off the beaten path, hit the road, scratch the surface, worth taking, keep an open mind, English conversation title: A trip to Canada, exploring nature and culture. A. Hey, have you ever been to Canada? B. Not yet, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Why do you ask? I just came back from a 2-week trip there. It was amazing, so much nature, culture, and diversity. That sounds incredible. Where did you go exactly? I started in Vancouver. It's a beautiful city surrounded by mountains and ocean. I visited Stanley Park, walked along the seawall, and even took a ferry to Vancouver Island. Wow, I've seen pictures of Stanley Park. It looks peaceful. It is. Then I flew to Banff National Park in Alberta. The Rocky Mountains, they are breathtaking. I went hiking, saw turquoise lakes, and even spotted the moose. You are so lucky. I've always wanted to see the Rockies. You should go. The fresh air, the friendly people, and the scenery, it's all unforgettable. What about the cities? Did you visit any big ones? Yes, at the Banff, I spent a few days in Toronto. It's super diverse and modern. I went up the CN Tower and visited the Royal Ontario Museum. Sounds like a nice mix of urban life and nature. Exactly. Oh, and I also made a day trip to Niagara Falls. You can actually feel the power of the water when you get close. That's on my dream list. Did you try any local food? Of course, I had poutine fries with cheese curls and gravy. It's surprisingly good. I've heard of it. I'd love to try that. Honestly, Canada is huge and there's so much more to explore. Like Quebec, the northern lights in Yukon, or even kayaking in Nova Scotia. You convince me. I'm going to start planning my trip. Let me know if you do. I'll send you some tips. Title A Memorable Journey to Canada. Nature, cities, and unique experiences. Hey, have you ever thought about traveling to Canada? Absolutely. It's one of the countries I've always wanted to visit. Why do you bring it up? I just came back from a 3-week trip there. It was beyond amazing, filled with stunning nature, friendly people, and rich culture. That sounds like a dream. Where did you start? I started my journey on the West Coast in Vancouver. The city is so green and clean. It's surrounded by mountains and water. I spent a lot of time in Stanley Park biking along the seawall. The air was so fresh. I've seen pictures. It looks like a peaceful place, not too crowded. Exactly. I even went whale watching. We spotted some orcas and humpback whales near Vancouver Island. It was an unforgettable experience. That's incredible. I didn't know you could see whales there. Then I flew to Calgary and rented the car to drive to Banff and Jasper National Parks. The drive itself was scenic, mountains covered with snow and rich forests and lakes that looked like grass. Banff is famous, right? with those turquoise lakes. Yes, I saw Lake Louise and Moraine Lake. Pictures don't do them justice. I hiked several trails, even did some canoeing at night. The stars were so bright. I even stayed at a cozy lodge with a fireplace that must have felt like a movie scene. Totally. I also visited some local indigenous cultural centers. I learned about their history and traditions and even watched a traditional dance performance. That's great. It's important to learn about local culture, not just to take photos. Exactly. Then I flew to Toronto. It's a big, busy city, but full of diversity. I visited the CN Tower and took a walk through Kensington Market. There are foods from all over the world there. Visited Niagara Falls. Of course, it's only a 2-hour drive from Toronto. I took the boat ride that gets really close to the falls. I got soaked, but it was worth it. That sounds like so much fun. Did you try any special Canadian food? Definitely, I had protein, butter tarts, and even tried maple syrup straight from the source at a maple farm in Quebec. Maple syrup from a palm beds next to river. Oh, and I can't forget Quebec City. It felt like walking through Europe, cobblestone streets or buildings and French signs. Everywhere people spoke both English and French, which was fun to hear. Canada really does have everything: nature, cities, culture, even different languages. You are right. And the people were so polite and welcoming. I even made a few friends I still keep in touch with. After hearing all this, I'm seriously thinking about going next year. You should just plan well because Canada is huge. Choose a few regions and explore them fully. I can help you build an itinerary. I love that. Thanks for the inspiration. Title on Unforgettable Adventure Course Canada. Hey, do you remember I told you I wanted to take a break from work and go on a meaningful trip? Yeah, of course. You were thinking about going somewhere peaceful, right? Exactly. So I finally made it happen. I went on a 3-week solo trip to Canada. No way. That's amazing. How did it go? Honestly, it was life changing. I started in British Columbia, then moved through Alberta, Ontario, and finally Quebec. Each province had something unique. That's a pretty wide range. How did you plan the route? I did a lot of research and asked for advice in travel forums. I made sure to balance nature and city experiences. And since Canada is huge, I had to take a couple of domestic flights. Part 1, British Columbia, Nature and Adventure. So, what did you do in British Columbia? I stayed in Vancouver for about 5 days. It's such a scenic city, ocean on one side, mountains on the other. I spent hours walking the seawall in Stanley Park. I also went hiking on Grouse Mountain and watched the sunset at English Bay. Sounds like a nature lover's paradise. Absolutely. I also took a ferry back 3 years on Vancouver Island. It's a charming city with gardens, old buildings, and quiet streets. I even joined the kayaking tour there. Part 2, Alberta, the Canadian Rockies. What was your next stop? I flew to Calgary and headed to Banff and Jasper National Parks. The Canadian Rockies are stunning. I've never seen anything like them before. Crystal clear lakes, pine forest, and wildlife everywhere. Did you see any animals? Yeah, I saw elk, mountain goats, and even a black bear from a safe distance. Of course, I stayed in a log cabin near Lake Louise. At night, the sky was filled with the stars. Part 3, Ontario, the urban experience. That must have been hard to read. It was, but I was excited to experience the urban side of Canada. So I flew to Toronto, big city vibes, lots of skyscrapers, people from all cultures, amazing food. What did you enjoy most there? The CN Tower was cool, but I really loved Kensington Market. It's full of little shops, murals, and street food. I tried jerk chicken, samosas, and even bubble tea. Did you go to Niagara Falls? Yes, it's just a short drive from Toronto. I took the boat tour that goes close to the falls. It's powerful and loud. You can feel the mist on your face. Part for Quebec culture and language. I've heard Quebec is different from the rest of Canada. It is Quebec City feels like stepping into Europe. Cobblestone streets, castles, and everyone speaking French. I practice some basic phrases and people appreciated the effort. That must been a fun challenge. Definitely, I visited historical sites like Old Quebec and Chatier Frontenac. I also attended the local music festival by chance. It was full of life and culture. What about the food? French Canadian food is delicious. I tried tortilla, maple desserts, and a lot of coffee. Oh, late. I even visited a maple syrup farm and saw how it's made. Part 5 Reflections. So, after all that, what was your biggest takeaway from the trip? That nature and culture can truly heal you. I went there to escape stress, but I came back with new perspectives. Canada, Canada reminded me how important it is to slow down and enjoy the world. That's too deep. I think I need a trip like that too. You should do it, and if you ever plan to go, I'd love to help you prepare. I kept notes and travel tips. Please do. You definitely inspired me. English word scenic, scenic, SeaWorld, charming, kayaking, kayaking, stunning, crystal clear, wild ripe, skyscrapers, Bibles, murals, samosas, mist, cobblestone, chateau, appreciated, historical festival, tourtière, perspective, inspire, idiom, life changing, make it happen, on nature robbers paradise, from a safe distance, big city Bibles, step into Europe, pull up ripe, slow down, new perspectives, come back with, English conversation, title planning a trip to Mongolia. A. Hey, have you ever thought about traveling to Mongolia? B. Actually, yes. I've seen so many pictures of the best steppers and wild horses. It looks incredible. Totally. I read that you can stay in traditional gars and even ride camels in the Gobi Desert. That sounds like a real adventure. I'm fascinated by the nomadic culture. It's so different from what we are used to. Same here. I wanna experience their way of life, like herding livestock and living without electricity. Do you think it's safe for tourists? From what I read, yes, the people are really hospitable and the crime rate is pretty low in the countryside. That's good to know. No. What about food? Is it easy for foreigners to adjust? It depends. Mongolian food is quite meat heavy, especially mutton. But if you're open to new tastes, it should be fine. I'm willing to try. I heard about a dish called buds. It's like a steamed dumpling, right? Yeah, and there's also elrek, which is fermented mare's milk. I don't know if I'm brave enough for that, though. Haha, maybe just a sheep, but imagine the landscapes, wide open skies, mountains, deserts, and don't forget the Nedam Festival, wrestling, archery, and horse racing all in one event. I'd love to time my trip to see that. When does it usually happen? In July, I believe. It's one of their biggest national holidays. Sounds perfect. Maybe we should plan a trip next summer. Let's do it. I'll start researching flights and possible tour options. Great. I look into travel requirements and what kind of gear we need. Mongolia, here we come. Title: A Dream Trip to Mongolia. Characters: Alex, curious traveler who enjoys nature and culture. Jordan, friend with a love for adventure and of the beaten path destinations. Alex: Hey Jordan, have you ever considered traveling to Mongolia? Mongolia? You mean the land of Genghis Khan and Andries grasslands? Exactly. I came across this travel documentary last night, and it showed these breathtaking shots of the Mongolian steppes. There were hordes of wild horses, massive blue skies, and not a single building in sight. Jordan, that sounds unreal. I've always wanted to go somewhere remote and untouched by modern life. Mongolia seems like the perfect place. Definitely, I was surprised to learn that nearly half the population still practices a nomadic lifestyle. They move with the seasons, live in gardens, and raise animals like yaks, goats, and camels. That's amazing. I can't imagine living without modern conveniences, but I'd love to experience it even just for a week. Do they let tourists stay with nomadic families? They do. There are homestay programs where you can live with the local family and help with daily tasks, milking animals, preparing traditional meals, even running their games and songs. That sounds like an immersive cultural cultural experience. I bet it would give a whole new perspective on life. Sometimes I feel like we take comfort for granted totally, and the scenery is unbelievable. You've got deserts like the Gobi Lakes, like coal and mountains in the west. It's so diverse. Isn't the Gobi Desert one of the largest deserts in the world? Yes, and it's not just sand. There are rocky canyons, dinosaur passors, and sand dunes you can climb. Plus, you can ride Bactrian camels, the ones with two humps. That sounds epic, but how do people get around in Mongolia? Public transport? Not really. Most people book private tours with guides and drivers, especially for remote areas. Roads can be rough and distance are huge, so it's not the kind of place where you just rent a car and go. Makes sense. I assume English isn't widely spoken outside the capital, right? In Ulaanbaatar, the capital, you will find some English speakers, but in the countryside, not so much. I've been thinking of running a few basic Mongolian phrases just to show respect. That's a great idea. And What about food? I heard Mongolian cuisine is very meat heavy. It is lots of mutton and dairy products. One of the most common dishes is both a steamed meat dumpling. There's also kushur, which is like a deep fried version, and they drink Iraq fermented mare's milk. Fermented mare's milk. I tried cautiously. Ho ho, me too. But I'd love to attend the Nadam festival. It's this huge celebration in July with traditional sports, wrestling, archery, and horse racing. I read that kids as young as 5 compete in horse races. That's wild. Yeah, and they race for kilometers across open fields. It's not like a circular track. It's a real endurance challenge. Mongolia is starting to sound more and more like a must-see destination. The culture, the landscape, the history, it has everything. I agree, and it's not overrun with tourists yet, which makes it even more special. I think traveling there would be both refreshing and humbling. Maybe this is the kind of trip that changes you, like it forces you to slow down and reconnect with nature and people in a deeper way. That's what I'm hoping for. We should start planning, look into visa requirements, price, and maybe even find a local travel agents that offers ethical, and responsible tours. I'm all in Mongolia 2026. Mongolia 2026. Let's make it happen. English word documentary, breathtaking, steps, steps, nomadic, convenience, immersive, immersive, perspective, diapers, 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 canyons, 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 parcels, 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 Bactrian camels, Bactrian camels, Bactrian camels, distances, distances, parades, parades, cautiously, cautiously, celebration, celebration, archery, 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 endurance, 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 overrun, overrun, humbling, humbling, escort, 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 idiom, of the beaten path, of the beaten path, take for granted, take for granted, a change of perspective, a change of perspective, in the middle of nowhere, 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 in the middle of nowhere. Leap out of a suitcase, leap out of a suitcase. Step back in time, step back in time. Once in a lifetime, once in a lifetime, hit the road, hit the road. Breathtaking view, breathtaking view. Down to earth, down to earth.